Indonesia is renowned for its more than 17,000 beautiful islands filled with landscapes of rice terraces, lush rainforest, pristine beaches, 130 volcanoes, and a population of 274 million people, making it the most populated country in Southeast Asia. The culture is deeply rooted in Hinduism, influencing all aspects of daily life. The Indonesian people are known for their warm hospitality and a strong sense of community. This week we share two of the three places we visited over the past several weeks. The first is the tropical island of Bali, and the second is Komodo National Park, where John fulfilled a bucket list adventure to walk among the dragons. We're John and Bev, and we are the Retirement Travelers. If you've been following along with us, you know that we most recently visited Singapore. We had a great time, so be sure to check out our website, retirementtravelers.com, for travel guides of our adventures. You can also sign up for our newsletter there.
That's right. Now, when we left Singapore, we flew to Denpasar in the southern part of the island of Bali. It was there that we met our guide Rudy, who had been recommended to us by an American family we met in Singapore. He drove us about an hour and a half or so to the city of Ubud, where we stayed at the Natura Villa Resort and Spa.
We hired Rudy to give us a tour of some of the best places in the area, and we started at the Sacred Monkey Forest located in town. Now, this is a sprawling park that is home to several hundred long-tailed macaques. We purchased tickets and walked around the park, which included 14th century temples.
Now, the sign there said, don't make eye contact with them because they see it as an act of aggression.
It's really hard because they look at you.
I know. I mean, you're trying to not make eye contact. It's not easy. It really isn't.
It's hard not to look at someone when they're looking at you. And a monkey,
they're awful cute.
They're really cute. And they also are known for jumping on people. So you must be careful not to get scratched. Now, they haven't been known to have rabies, but there are rabies in Bali. So we wanted to be careful. And as a travel tip, we actually took a series of rabies vaccinations before we left. I mean, who knew people could get rabies?
That's right. I mean, it's no fun getting shots, but you might as well get them ahead of time just in case.
Yes, because if you get them on the road, your trip kind of comes to a stop while you go through the whole series.
Yeah, that's no fun. So the next place we visited was the Tegalalang Rice Terraces. This was a beautiful park, and it offered opportunities for the perfect Instagram picture.
We didn't quite get one.
We didn't quite. It was a little rainy that day. Now the terraces were beautiful. Like I said, it was very rainy. But we took a break and just kind of hung out on a picnic bench to wait it out. It was so green, and the view was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I loved it too. I mean, it was a little touristy, but the view was just incredible. When we left there, we headed toward Mount Batur, which is one of two active volcanoes on the island. It last erupted in 2000 and is a popular place to hike with its large crater lake. It's a popular hike at sunrise, so if you're in Bali, we recommend this hike.
Now, the other popular activity that we are very, very good at is eating. Now, we ate lunch overlooking the volcano. We told Rudy, you pick your favorite restaurant, and he took us to Batur Sori restaurant where there was a huge buffet. It was very, very good. Lots of local dishes, and we had a chance to just sit and talk to him about his life in Bali.
Our next stop was the Penglipuran traditional Balinese village. I think I pronounced that right, but this is a town where they allow you to come in pedestrian traffic. They stop all motorbikes through the area, so you can really just walk around. The architecture is so fascinating, and it was so impressive. I mean, people live here, and Rudy walked along with us and provided narratives to what we were seeing.
And we also then made a stop at the Tirta Empul temple. This is one of the most sacred Hindu temples in all of Bali. You know, the name translates to the holy water spring. You know, it's believed that it was built around the 10th century and in traditional Balinese architecture. There was lush gardens and ponds fed by the natural spring.
Now, the main attraction is the bathing area, which consists of a series of pools filled with fresh water. And we watched people take part in prayers, and then they entered the pools and put their heads under the spring.
That's right. Now, Rudy explained that these devotees go through a series of fountains, and it's kind of a purification ritual. You know, the ritual involves praying, making offerings, and then immersing yourself in the water to symbolize the spiritual cleaning and seeking of blessings. The water is thought to wash away all negative energies.
When our time in Bali was finished, we flew for 1.5 hours from Denpasar to the city of Labuan, Bajo, the gateway to Komodo National Park. Now, John loves dragons.
I do love dragons. You know, I learned last year when we were in Slovenia that dragons represent courage, strength, and power. And I think we should have them on our logo.
I think you've said that before.
I have. And Bev, I got a great idea. Why don't we put dragons on our retirement travelers bridge, and we can put a dragon on there. Now, this truly was a bucket list experience for me. When we realized we could make it to Indonesia this year, I knew we had to fit in a visit to Komodo National Park.
Yeah, when we arrived at the airport, we checked into our hotel, a long hillside bamboo villa. Now, this hotel was pretty close to the airport, but it was still out of town a bit. From our bungalow, we could see the city below, and we really enjoyed the stay. It was just a beautiful hillside view, and it was really beautiful.
Beautiful place. Now, on our second day there, we took a full-day tour to visit some of the surrounding islands and beaches. We used Batang Komodo Tours. They picked us up really early at the hotel at 5 a.m., and they took us to the dock where we boarded a boat. There was probably about 12 guests on board and several crew.
We stopped at Padar Island for some hiking to the top. Now, this took about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes stop. Yeah. This was just such a beautiful trip and so worth it. It was just a breathtaking view from the top. And we stopped for pictures, and people were so nice on that hillside, weren't they?
It was. Everyone's taking each other's pictures.
Yeah.
It's one of the most beautiful places in the world, actually.
Yes.
Now, after we left the island, it was still quite early, and you know, we did leave at 5 a.m. that morning, so we headed to what was called the Pink Sand Beach. We did a little snorkeling and swimming, and it just felt great after a hot hike. We were a little sweaty.
Then we headed to Komodo Island. Now, we were briefed about what to do should we come face to face with a dragon, and we listened very carefully, and I made John promise that he would behave himself.
No, I didn't I?
Yes, but I told him that our daughters would never forgive him if he got bitten. I had to use the daughter card.
Well, I was very good on this visit. Respectful for sure, because Komodo dragons are extremely poisonous.
Yeah.
The saliva in their mouth has bacteria in it, and when they bite their prey, it essentially paralyzes them and they die of a slow death. Doesn't sound, like a great experience to me.
No, not at all. We had a very quick briefing from the park rangers, and they took us on a 1-hour hike through the park. I think the entire hike, we saw maybe 8 dragons. This is pretty good. There is actually 4,000 dragons in the park, but depending on when you visit, it can be hit or miss for seeing them.
The first one we came to, our guide offered to take our picture. Now, we were a little hesitant to get anywhere close to them, but they explained that if you stand behind them, it's a pretty safe place to be.
I know. I was shocked to learn that there is a village on the island where people live full time. And knowing how careful our kids are with car seats and such, I cannot imagine them raising our grandchildren on an island with Komodo dragons. Can you?
I know. I can't imagine it. Now, Komodo dragons can run 12 miles an hour, but only for a short distance, which is still too fast to outrun. But the trick to outrunning them is to run in zigzag motion because they can't change directions, which is why staying behind them is still probably the safest place to be.
I know our guides had these sticks with forked ends, and they assured us that they would hold them back if they came towards us. But I wasn't sure someone couldn't invent a better apparatus for defense than the stick from the woods. They were just cut down.
You would think. I think we need a bigger stick. Now, we went into the woods and came across another one, and our guide took Bev's camera and captured a great clip of this dragon walking.
I know. He was a little too close for comfort, though. I mean, the fact that he had to lay down his stick to take the picture just didn't make me feel very comfortable in this situation.
As we walked, they made sure one guide was in the front and another was in the back. You should not wander away from the group when you're on Komodo Island.
Yeah, when we returned to the dock, they served a meal. It was chicken and rice and some vegetables, I think. It wasn't anything special, but it tasted great because when we left our hotel before breakfast, we were very hungry.
I'm hungrier than a Komodo dragon. When we left, we headed out to a snorkeling reef. Now, this is a great place to snorkel, and we saw some beautiful fish. The Komodo Islands are known for great snorkeling, because it falls on the edge of the Coral Triangle. It's an area of the world's very best marine biodiversity. We saw sea turtles, beautiful coral, and many colorful fishes.
Yes, overall, we had a great time at these 2 stops. Ubud is a wonderful place. It's a little crowded these days, but getting out of the city and seeing the island is pretty fantastic. You can get a real Indonesian experience on Bali.
Yes, if you go try to combine a trip with Komodo, it wasn't difficult to get there, and it was so much fun.
So where are we off to next?
We're off to Raja Ampat, Indonesia. It's a remote island paradise. It is one of the most perfect places on earth with incredible snorkeling, so we can't wait.
And if you're a diver, you definitely want to tune in next time and hear how to get there and why you need to go. It really is. I think it might be my favorite place on earth.
Well, we will see you next week. Be sure to hit subscribe and follow along on our retirement journey around the world.